I get it. UVE stared at a dozen glossy photos of LED follow spots, imagined that perfect wash of warm white on stage, and then wondered why the one you finally ordered left the audience looking like they were under a cheap club light. It's a common frustration. The product looks slick on the listing, but when you hook it up for the first rehearsal it either blows out too bright, doesn't focus where you need, or just feels like you paid for a gimmick. That hesitation is real, especially when you're trying to stretch a modest production budget. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The ADJ FS 3000 is positioned as a 300-watt, warm white C.O.B follow spot that promises a smooth, even beam and hands-free control via a color touchscreen. At first glance that sounds like exactly what a small to medium theater, a church worship team, or even a corporate presenter would want, a single-handed device that can be dialed in quickly and stay steady through a whole set. The key question, though, is whether it delivers that promise without forcing you to compromise on things you actually need in a live event environment. Let's start with the setup. The FS 3000 arrives in a fairly compact crate, with the unit already mounted on a sturdy metal yoke. You'll need a standard 120V outlet and a DMX cable if you intend to integrate it into a larger lighting console, though the unit also works fine on its own with the built-in manual controls. The first thing I noticed was how intuitive the touchscreen feels. It's a small, glossy panel that lets you toggle between preset color temperatures, but because this model is fixed at 3000K it essentially acts as a shortcut to the dimming curve. The screen isn't a novelty. It actually saves you a few seconds when you're moving from a rehearsal break to a full-in cue. From a practical standpoint, the manual dimming potentiometer is where the FS 3000 shines. You can slide from a barely visible wash to full power in a smooth, linear motion. In a live worship setting I've seen, the pastor could walk up to the light, pull the dimmer down a notch, and instantly get a softer ambience for a prayer moment. No need to jump through DMX programming on the fly. That kind of tactile control is a real time saver when you have limited crew. Zoom and focus are also manual, which is a design decision that splits the crowd. Some users love the tactile feel, others wish for motorized options that can be recalled from a console. In the field, I found the manual zoom easy enough. Turning the ring widens the beam from a tight spotlight to a broader wash, which is perfect when you need to highlight a soloist 1 minute and then open up for a choir the next. The focus knob, however, can be a bit finicky when the unit is mounted on a moving headstand. A slight wobble can shift the focal point, so you'll want a secure mounting bracket or a small counterweight if you're planning to move the light during a show. Now, about the actual light output. The C.O.B. chip-on-board array does deliver a clean, even spread of warm white that feels much more natural than many cheap LED spots that have a harsh, blue-tinted edge. In a rehearsal hall with high ceilings, the FS 3000's 300-watt rating gave me a consistent illumination that covered a 30-foot diameter without noticeable hot spots. That's a practical strength. You get a lot of usable light for the wattage, which translates to lower electricity costs over a run of several shows. But there are hidden trade-offs. Because the unit is locked at 3000K, you lose the flexibility to switch to cooler tones for a dramatic effect. If your production runs a mix of moods, say, a cool blue for a tech-heavy scene and a warm gold for an intimate moment, you'll need a second fixture or a separate LED wash to fill that gap. Also, the absence of built-in DMX dimming means you either rely on the manual pot or invest in an external DMX dimmer pack if you want remote control. For a DIY church crew that's comfortable with a handheld dimmer, that's fine. For a touring crew that wants every parameter on a console, it adds a layer of complexity. Who should buy the FS 3000? If you're running a venue that primarily needs a reliable, warm white spot, think small theaters, community churches, school auditoriums, or even a conference room that doubles as a stage, you'll appreciate the straightforward operation and the quality of the beam. It's also a good fit for freelance lighting techs who need to carry one versatile unit that can be set up quickly for multiple gigs. The price point, while not cheap, sits below many motorized alternatives, so the value really comes from the combination of decent power, easy manual controls, and a sturdy build that can survive the occasional bump. Who should skip it? If your productions demand rapid color changes, motorized zoom/focus, or full DMX integration from the get-go, you'll find the FS 3000 limiting. A touring